This is a breaking news alert. The 11th Circuit Court of Appeals has denied Donald Trump's bid to block Jack Smith's final report into Donald Trump's crimes. The special counsel has prepared a report regarding the case relating to Donald Trump's attempt to overthrow the 2020 election, the January 6th DC case. That's volume 1, which will be released to the full public. And then there's volume 2, which relates to the Mar-a-Lago document case involving Donald Trump's theft of top secret classified information that Judge Cannon dismissed, where she claims that special counsels aren't allowed to exist. That will now get released to the ranking members of certain congressional committees, at least until the criminal case against Donald Trump's co-defendants goes away. And then ostensibly that report will then get leaked to the public. Not leaked, it will get released to the public. Now, Donald Trump's handpicked, very corrupt judge, Judge Eileen Cannon, I think overstepped her jurisdiction, and Donald Trump filed an emergency petition before her. And she previously ruled earlier, and again, it's like the most corrupt ruling ever because she doesn't have jurisdiction anymore, in my opinion, and many other legal scholars. She ruled that the report would be blocked, that Donald Trump would have to, that Donald Trump's application was granted, that the Department of Justice and special counsel would not release the report. So the special counsel's office, the Department of Justice, Merrick Garland, etc., they went to the 11th Circuit Court of Appeals, and they were like, okay, what is she doing? Like, I'm not even sure she has jurisdiction. There's no emergency here at all. She has nothing to do with the Washington, D.C. case, and we're not going to imminently release the Mar-a-Lago document report. That will be given to the ranking members and chairs of certain key congressional committees. So Democrats will get that as well, so long as the case remains pending against Trump's co-defendant, Walter Nauta and Carlos de Oliveira. So I want you to know, though, why that was a brilliant move, because now there's kind of like a ticking time bomb there, if you will. Donald Trump's instinct would be what? To pardon Walter Nauta and Carlos de Oliveira and try to now make that case go away because they were his co-defendants and they basically covered for him. But now, because the report will be transmitted to the ranking Democratic member of the key congressional committee and the Republicans who will be the chairman or the chairpersons of the committee, they'll have access to it. So when Trump brings in his new head of the DOJ, the Attorney General, who will likely be Pam Bondi, she really can't cover it up anymore because the Democratic leaders in Congress will now get a copy of it. And then if the case gets dismissed against Nauta and de Oliveira, then that gets released. So to kind of recap, the DC report, that's going to get released. When? In 3 days, the 11th Circuit said. So 3 days from the order, meaning the earliest it gets released is Sunday. I suppose Donald Trump can try to file an emergency application with the Supreme Court before Sunday, although he doesn't have a lot of time for it, and the Supreme Court previously rejected his request to stop the sentencing. So is Trump going to try to get a double dose of loss before the Supreme Court? We'll see about that if Donald Trump's move is that. But otherwise, the report gets released. The J6 report gets released on Sunday by the DOJ. And then the Mar-a-Lago document report gets transmitted to the chair of the appropriate committees and the ranking Democratic members of those committees. Here, let's pull up the ruling so you can just see the ruling for yourself by the 11th Circuit order. Appellees, emergency motion for injunction with relief requested by January 10th, 2025 is denied. Appellee, there's Trump. To the extent the appellant seeks relief from the district court's January 7th, 2025 order temporarily enjoining appellant may file a notice of appeal from that order. So The expectation is that the report will be released in 3 days. So the 11th Circuit Court of Appeals has denied the effort to block Jack Smith's final report, but Cannon's order keeping a hold in place for 3 days remains in effect. And this means that Garland can't release it until Sunday or later than that. Now, Donald Trump had filed what's called an amicus curiae, which is a friend of the court brief, basically saying that he should have absolute immunity. That's kind of his go-to argument, that if special counsel Jack Smith was deemed disqualified by Judge Cannon, then how can he prepare a report if he shouldn't have existed in the first place? Now, you'll recall that federal judge Eileen Cannon, the corrupt judge appointed by Donald Trump during his lame duck session in 2020, she ruled, as it relates to Donald Trump, special counsels just don't exist. Sure, special counsels exist to prosecute everybody else, like Hunter Biden got prosecuted by a special counsel. And when Hunter Biden said, hey, Cannon said that special counsels don't apply to Trump, so, hey, judge in California, same thing with me, huh? Special counsels don't apply? No, the Trump-appointed judge in California said, no, it applies to you. I'm not going to follow Cannon's ruling right there. So Cannon said special counsels are disqualified. They don't exist. So Trump's argument was basically don't release it because he wasn't allowed to prepare the report if he wasn't allowed to exist. So to me, this also signals that the 11th Circuit Court of Appeals is likely going to rule that special counsels can exist because they've always existed. It's been precedent for a long time. It's not a controversial topic. Judge Cannon's order was just typical corrupt Judge Cannon BS. Now, in response to Walty Nauta, Carlos de Oliveira, Trump's criminal defendants or co-defendants, and then Trump's effort to block the report, Merrick Garland, DOJ, the special counsel's office, they basically filed what I said earlier in the video. They filed their application, or their filing with the 11th Circuit Court of Appeals said, look, there is nothing here that should block this report from going out. She didn't have jurisdiction when it comes to DC, number one. And number two, there's no exigent circumstances here of the release of a case. Because one of the things that Walty Nauta and Carlos de Oliveira argue, their point is, well, we still have a presumption of innocence. We're still co-defendants, unlike Donald Trump. And so you can prejudice us, even though we all know that Trump's going to pardon them, right? That's the whole kind of fiction here, if you will. But their whole argument is we're still criminal defendants. We're owed a presumption of innocence. And if you release this report saying all of these things, you're going to prejudice the jury pool against us. So that's why Merrick Garland, DOJ special counsel, smartly said, no, don't worry. As long as the case is still pending against you, we won't release it. All we're going to do is turn it over to the chair, Republican, of one of the congressional committees, a ranking member who's a Democrat. They'll hold on to it. They'll safeguard it. And this way, the DOJ passed it on so that, what do you think is going to happen when Trump's head of DOJ comes in? What would your guess be? Delete it, right? They'll probably shred it, delete it, try to erase it off their servers when the special counsel's office shut down. So now that Mar-a-Lago report will be in the hands of congressional committees. Now, I want you to think about this. Go a few steps ahead here. What's Trump going to do? Is he going to pardon them, dismiss the case now, and risk those reports being made public? Is he now going to keep them as defendants in the case so that the report isn't made public? And then when the report does get made public and we all learn these things about Trump, how he handled the records, I mean, this is going to be in meticulous detail, folks, what went down. What if the Democrats take power in 2026 and they now have this report, which are going to outline, I think, real serious conduct? What do you think they do? What do you think if Donald Trump screws over Republicans, which I think he'll probably end up doing? What might they do when they get this report in a few years from now? Think about that. But anyway, the Court of Appeals denied Trump's attempt to stop the DOJ report from being made public. We'll keep you posted, folks, every step of the way. Hit subscribe. Let's get to 4 million subscribers.
In collaboration with the MeidasTouch Network, we just launched the Legal AF YouTube channel. Help us build this pro-democracy channel where I'll be curating the top stories at the intersection of law and politics. Go to YouTube now and free subscribe at Legal AF MTN. That's at Legal AF MTN.